Hey everybody, this is Alex, Post-Mesmeric Carlson here. I'm making a video to sort of put into perspective everything that's been going on for the last few weeks. This is really just an update video, along with a few other things that are the result of some pretty momentous occurrences that have happened in the last few weeks. As you know, I recently got over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that is something that I never thought would happen. And, compared to a lot of other channels, that seems rather small. I was originally going to do this video when I got 1,000 subscribers, but I just kind of put it off after getting over 1,000 because I was getting really close to 2,000. So this is a 2,000 video, 2,000 subscriber. So I'm still kind of processing this. I'm still just absolutely stunned that more than 2,000 people came to my channel, liked my content, and liked it enough that they want to be alerted and keep up with what I'm doing here. This is a moment of a lot of self-reflection. It's a moment of a lot of thanks to many, many people. But it's a moment of genuine happiness for me because I never thought I'd get here. I originally started this channel as to just sort of host stupid little Let's Plays, vlogs, and some videos which aren't even live anymore are where I really got started. The work wasn't good. Like let's be real here. We all have perspectives of our old work, and like a lot of people, my old work was not great. It was pretty sloppy. I clearly didn't know what I was doing. But to kind of put this all into perspective, I started this channel probably a little more than 2 years ago. And after I did sort of those Let's Plays, the goofy little videos, I wanted to try and do something a little bit more substantial. So I published I kind of decided that I wanted to do a look in a more academic sense, kind of look at games more than just, I wanted to kind of lay off the humor, I guess. I just thought there were too many of those already. I didn't need to really contribute to that scene. So I put out the video on the dishwasher vampire smile and analyzed its design. That was the first time I kind of I want to do this. I want to make videos like this and talk about games like this. I recently sort of came to terms about how this all goes about, and I just said, yeah, let's make game design videos. So I kept making videos, Layers of Fear, Until Dawn, Banjo-Kazooie versus Banjo-Tooie, for a couple of years, and I was steadily gaining a little bit of sort of finding my feet. And after all that happened, I think the easiest thing to do is just to, this is because of a lot of people, and I just kind of want to list them out and say thanks. Obviously, this list is not exclusive. There are there's so many people I really want to thank about this, and I feel bad because it's going to sound like I'm missing people, but really it's everybody. But there are a few that I do want to point out. The first person, most obviously in all of this, the person who's pretty much directly responsible for my huge influx of subscribers, is the Geek Critique. I began watching the Geek Critique's videos, Josh, and a while back, and he was starting to making a lot of long form analysis, and I noticed that one day he posted on Twitter, hey, his videos are really good, watch this guy's videos, and he posted my Beautiful Joe video. And that is one of the videos one of the few videos that I think I was completely satisfied with how it came out. I mean, yeah, there were a few small errors that I think I could have improved on, but that was a video that was fun to make. I was excited making it. I wanted to just sort of push everything I had into that video. That and probably the first Danganronpa video are my favorite work that I've done, and I'm very happy with those videos. Obviously, they aren't perfect, but I do think that I'm satisfied with them. I think that they are worth being proud of. But back on topic, Josh shared that on Twitter, which was great. And, people watched it, and I appreciate his doing for that. And then one day, I think it was probably like a Friday morning, I was about to go to work, and I see that there are hundreds of emails in my notifications that say, is this person subscribed? And I'm just like, where did this all come from? And I go to my YouTube channel and I have over 1,000 subscribers, like this huge wave. And as it turns out, Josh had put up a video showcasing my Beautiful Joe video and directing people to the channel. And I'm still getting subscribers because of this. And this wasn't just because of a tweet. This wasn't because of someone plugging it on Reddit. This was someone who wanted to make a video on their channel saying, check this guy out. They would, the subscribers would be notified of this. And this was, I couldn't believe it. I was floored. It was hard for me to concentrate for the rest of the day. Just like, what in the world's going on? And I can't thank him enough for that. He's a very talented YouTuber. He puts a lot of work in his videos. His videos are very entertaining, very informative, and I do recommend you check him out at The Geek Critique. But that's the most obvious thank you for that. On a more subtle level, I think that there is another big YouTuber who I think contributed a lot to what I'm doing on my channel, and that is the YouTuber Lonely Goomba. Going into this, I really had no idea that a big YouTuber would even give two shits about someone of my size. But one day I saw that the Lonely Goomba, who makes very entertaining content, and he's being punished by the YouTube algorithm so harshly. I saw that he had liked my Banjo-Kazooie Banjo-Tooie video, and just seeing a big YouTuber, and he's not enormous, but he's big enough to me, and just him saying, yeah, your stuff's good, I want to show people that your stuff's good, that means a lot. And it was the first time that I felt a big YouTuber looking down at the smaller YouTubers and saying, there's room up here, we want to help you, we want to help you succeed too. And I'm not the only person he's done this for, but just the fact that he's so supportive of these small YouTubers is so it's good. It's a good feeling. It gives me hope that there isn't any sort of clique. There isn't any sort of, I guess, prerequisite to be appreciated by a bigger YouTuber. He didn't look at me and look, oh, he has no subscribers. It was just nice to be able to see that and, talk to him on Twitter. And I think he broke the barrier in between the big YouTubers and the smaller ones. And that's such an enormous feeling that I really can't thank him enough for that. Go check out Lonely Goomba. He makes good videos. And the last, I guess, group of people who I think that are the most important here, and no disrespect to anybody else here, but if you were watching my stuff as far back as the dishwasher video or the Until Dawn video or the Banjo-Kazooie Banjo-Tooie video, if you were watching me back then, you believed in me when I had only 5 subscribers. The people, my friends who were able to support me and give me feedback that early when I was that small, that's such a good feeling. Maya, Katie, George, Alex, Serpentax Man, Jello, just everybody who looked at my work and didn't even bother to look at the subscribers because it didn't matter to them. They just wanted to really like my videos. And if you were watching my videos back then and are still watching now, even if you aren't watching now, thank you. That gave me an audience, and really without an audience, none of this matters. Anyone who says, you're just making it for yourself, and I'm like, no, I'm not making these for myself. If I was making these for myself, I wouldn't put them on the internet for other people to see. And I love that feeling. I love being able to make something for other people, and someone to say, hey, I never really thought about it that way. That's such a good feeling. And there are so many other people I want to thank, so many bigger channels who have been reaching out to me lately and giving me feedback or just saying, you're really great at this and keep going. There's an endless list of people, and I'm still stunned at what's going on. It's a feeling I never thought I'd have, and like I said, 2,000 doesn't feel that big to a lot of people. There are people with 50,000, 100,000 subscribers who I feel would be looking at this like, what does this mean? You're just 2,000. But I'm going to keep going. I got a lot of ideas that I want to kind of get together, and I'm starting to become more associated in this community. And I don't want to sort of lock out a lot of people who have been watching this from the beginning. If you were watching me from the very beginning, you matter the most, because that's when, I have nothing to give back. So 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to keep pressing forward. I'm going to keep making videos. This is not the end. This is just the start. I may not get to like 3,000. I may not get to anywhere. But like I always say, you can't get better if you quit. So the second part of this video is going to be the Q&A. I said that I would do a question and answer session. Just some feedback from various people who asked me, who submitted a question. I just kind of want to answer them. So here we go. So the first question is from my little buddy Miles, Mr. Miles with a Y. And he says, how do you define games as art? And do you feel the gaming landscape has any misconception about what is and isn't art that irks you? Now, the games as art argument is such a tired discussion. I mean, I just feel a lot of people are misconstruing what exactly games as art can be. When a lot of people think of games as art, they think of games like Journey, games like Eco, games like Dear Esther, Limbo, games that usually have one of two types of features. They either focus on story, or they focus on a very artistic graphic design, or soundtrack, or, aesthetics. And anyone who's doing that is just missing the mark. Like, come on. You're using a barometer to measure games' artistic potential, a barometer that is shared with other medium. Games aren't movies. Games aren't books. Games aren't TV shows. Games are games. And I think that if you're going to classify games as art in some way, you need to use the game medium's most identifiable feature, the one that sets it apart from everything else, and that's gameplay. Do I think that Journey is a games as art argument? Not as much as people think. In fact, there's a video that a friend of mine, CJ from What's With Games, put up, sort of arguing that the Journey as games as art is a argument that misrepresents a lot of what's going on with games as art. He did say that, he put me in the credits, so full disclosure, but really he did a very good job at this video, sort of explaining that a lot of people are just missing the point of games as art, and they're saying, oh, this is a really good story, really great graphics, really elaborate, beautiful aesthetics. And I'm like, but where's the gameplay there? I do think Journey has some elements that are artistic in the gameplay department. I do like how everything it shows is totally native to the design, not necessarily done through text or story. But I'm sorry, there are some games that people romanticize as games as art that just, I cannot use them as games as art. I think, in my opinion, what makes games as art is, do I feel connected? I guess the connection between me and the avatar or the character. If I'm feeling some sort of connection to them, that's why I kind of brought up games as art when I was doing Catherine in the Catherine video, or even like the Danganronpa video. I want to feel connected with this character I'm playing as. And when I think that the connection is so tight that you absolutely ignore the controller or you ignore the interface, when you feel totally connected with this avatar, then that's art. That's what I believe. That's my opinion of what games is art. Do I think the games having good story and good graphics are nice? Absolutely. But that's not the point that we need to focus on. If you can use gameplay in an interesting way, gameplay in an artistic way, then you have a games as art. And really, this is a tired argument, and so many people misconstrue it. And I'm just like, that's my opinion on what games is art. I think Journey can be art. I think that Super Mario Bros. Can be art. I think Doom can be art. And sort of saying what isn't art is probably the most regressive and counterproductive thing that you can possibly do for this argument. If you want games to really be inclusive and really bring a ton of different ideas, you cannot say this isn't art. And I'll just leave it at that. Next question is from my good buddy John Zerbs, Mr. Picanjo. What's the hardest hurdle you've overcome with your video making? I don't even. That's a really deep question because there's a lot that you kind of got to figure out with this stuff. I think most of the hurdles that a lot of people seem to overlook is the technical ones. Like when making videos, I had to learn a lot of different skills. I had to learn how to edit audio. I had to learn how to, add effects to the audio. I had to learn how to use these programs, and those are really the hardest parts. Just understanding just what it takes, I guess. I know that's kind of a weird answer, but the technical skills are important. And I think that once you learn that, everything really just comes down to pushing yourself to do it. I still don't entirely know where my channel is going to go. I do want to focus on design, but I've noticed that I've kind of been taking different writing styles with this. And so I think the hardest hurdle, aside from the technical ones, I think I'll just, set those aside, is just figuring out what you want to do. It's not an easy answer. You need to figure out, like, finding that niche that you can satisfy that not very many other people can do. That's why I like doing videos on games that not very many people talk about in an artistic or an analytical sense. But really just finding out what you want to talk about is really the hardest I can think of. It's not an easy answer, and I think it's going to be different for everybody, but that's really my opinion. Next is one of two questions from Mango Viking. First one is, what do you think is the next advancement for games? I have no idea, but I'm eager to find out. Yeah, that's an easy question because really we don't know. They come in these waves. Sometimes the waves catch on, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we get something like the analog stick on the Nintendo 64 controller. Sometimes we get Kinect, or motion controls in general, or VR, which I still don't think is going to catch on. Not in games. So really we don't know. It really depends on what we see. And we really don't know what the next big advancement is until it's already kind of ingrained in our culture. Mango's second question is, how has your content changed from your first video to your latest video? Well, I kind of already talked about that. It's I got more organized, learned how to make my audio sound more professional, make my video look clearer, organize it better. I just think that back when I was doing the dishwasher video, I can still see some flaws. I do think that sort of understanding the tone that I wanted to take definitely makes it easier. Like in the past, I kind of wanted to make some funnier videos, the little bit lightheartedness mixed in with the critique, but I didn't really see that breaking out because there's so many people who do that. So my ability to sort of take it more seriously was probably the biggest part of video making, where I knew what I wanted to do and I just wanted to identify that tone. My next question is from Serpentax Band, my buddy, I believe it's Alex, yes. What is your personal favorite game, and what does it do that's separated from your other favorites? Well, my favorite game is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I actually said this on a podcast interview with Eric Swain over at the Game Critique. I will put a link in the description of that. And yes, this is bathed in nostalgia. It's not a perfect game. I do think there are some games that are more polished than that, but that is a game that I can go back to anytime. Just boot it up, play it with a big dumb smile on my face. That's really what I gotta say. And I think when I'm having that much fun, when I'm that engaged, that invested, that's just a great game in my opinion. In comparison to my other favorites, the movement feels good, the level design feels good, the graphics are colorful and exciting, the soundtrack's fantastic, but it's just a game that, for some hard to identify reason, I just have fun with more than any other game. It doesn't need depth, it doesn't need intricacy, it just needs to be fun to play. And I know that fun is a controversial term when discussing video games, I guess critically, but that's it. That's really the situation. It's just fun to play. Next, from Daily Sam K, favorite YouTube analysis channels and why? I subscribe to a lot of analysis channels, a lot. But I wanted to kind of narrow it down to 4. There are 4, and the ones that I'm going to name here are not exclusive. There are a ton others that I can recommend, but these are the ones that I think I find myself going back to a lot as far as analysis channels. First one's Racevic. Racevic, I kind of found totally on a whim. I saw his video on the Doom soundtrack, sort of wandering around Reddit, I think. And I really liked his tone. I really liked how he's kind of looking at games that I don't think really get a lot of critical analysis. Like, no one really talks about Doom as far as like game design or aesthetic design. He focuses on a lot of PC games. He did a very, very, very good series on critiquing the Halo games. I just really enjoyed his tone. I like that he looked at games that I don't think get a lot of attention in the critical sphere, and really he just makes very good quality videos. If you're kind of into a lot of PC gaming, stuff like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Doom, arena shooters, he definitely goes into stuff like Quake. He even did a video on like Lawbreakers. I just really like his style. It's a very good style. Next up, and this is someone with, I'm also trying to go for like some pretty under the radar ones, but the next one is L. Hudson, and it blows me away that not very many people, in my sphere anyway, know about Hudson. I think his name is Lewis Hudson, but he's L. Hudson on YouTube. This guy is one of the most underrated guys I've seen in this entire sphere. He is very introspective when it comes to the videos he does. He's currently doing a big long series examining individual aspects of Heavy Rain. He's done videos on all these kinds of games, everything from Spyro the Dragon to Valkyria Chronicles to Honey Pop. He has this kind of sharp, a little bit sharp tongued, a little bit dry, and I'm kind of sarcastic kind of thing. But he's smart, and he makes some very, very high quality videos. Very good special effects, very good arguments, very good delivery. And I really, really, really encourage people to go see him, because he's at like about 2,500 subscribers, and he deserves far more. He really does. And I think his videos, I've noticed I go back to a lot. I go back to his video on depression in games. I go back to his video on even he did some pretty big stuff on like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. He's very talented, and I want more people to know about that. So that's L. Hudson. Next up on the list is, full disclosure, this is a friend of mine, Miles. Miles with a Y, formerly American Hikikomori. His videos, he has a very playful style that I've noticed. I think I randomly just came across one of his videos. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it might have been the Zelda video, but I ended up really enjoying his video on Metal Gear Solid 5's single player campaign. Really introspective, and he also does a really good video on Miku Hatsune, sort of the Vocaloid trend. And I'm also saying this, full disclosure, he has told me that I inspired him to make this video, but he made a video on Catherine. He said he watched mine and he made his own, but I think his is better. I'm saying that, he is a friend, all things considered, but his video is better. It is better than mine, without question. He really put a ton of effort into editing it right, delivering a good argument, and that is one of his most popular videos for good reason. It's a fantastic video, and I'm really eager to see what he does next. I know he's kind of in a bit of a creative slump right now, but he's a very talented young YouTuber, and I want to see him succeed. I'm happy to call him a friend of mine. Guy's great. He makes amazing content. I definitely encourage you to see it. And the last one that I really want to point out, another one that I really keep coming back to, is VZ Shows. VZEDSHOWS. And I believe his name is Alec, I believe. And, if I'm wrong on this, Zed, just let me know. One thing I've noticed a lot about VZ's videos is he's been sort of changing up a lot of his style. Back in the day, he was, in his older videos, he's kind of going a little bit for the entertainer, kind of loose, goofy sort of aesthetic. But I've noticed over the last few videos that he's done, definitely ones like his favorite levels in Donkey Kong Country, I really go back to that because it's very interesting. his video on, I believe, Franbo, and like some of his videos on his most recent video on Final Fantasy IX. He hits such a good balance of lighthearted funniness, but also very, very introspective. His tone is just so interesting to me. The way he's able to talk about these things in depth, but still add a bit of a casual vibe to it. Like, sort of like you're talking to a friend, just you're talking to a smart friend. And I just keep coming back to it. I keep watching his videos, and I know he's currently working on a few things himself. He's mentioned that on Twitter, and he's very talented. I think that sort of in the under the radar scene, VZ Shows is another hidden gem. He's just got a tone that's so hard to pin down. It's casual, but it's introspective. It's lighthearted, but it's critical, and I just love his writing style and his delivery style. That's the number one thing about that. And he covers a lot of games that I like. He covers stuff like, Donkey Kong Country. He did a video on a specific scene in Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It was really good. He's just an overall great video maker, and I really encourage you to go see it. His name is VZ Shows. And another question from my good friend George. Why is Doom 3 the best game of, well, I don't even know what the year it was. It was why he just likes Doom 3 and he wants me to say why. I'm like, whatever. I didn't even finish that game. I played it like a little bit for the Halloween videos, but didn't finish it, so I wouldn't know. But he said, most seriously, what other games do you plan to make an analysis on? I'm going to actually use that as a segue into the final part of this video, which is what's going to go down in the future? Like, what do you have plans for? Well, I mean, I come up with these videos ideas sort of on a whim. I really don't like saying specifically what videos, what games I choose, because I kind of want it to be a surprise. But one video that I am planning is the analysis of Danganronpa V3's ending. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that immediately or very soon, because I kind of want more people to be able to play the game, sort of let it cook a while before I start spoiling things. I mean, I always put spoiler warnings on, things that are going to have spoilers, but I also kind of might as well just, say this is going to be a spoiler video. Now, I know spoiler videos don't usually do as well. You can see that with my Until Dawn video, with my Pyre video, and I don't like doing spoilers, but this is something where it's going to need to be spoiled. So that's in the cards. I'm currently working on capturing footage for another game, a game that I've played before and a game that I do enjoy. It does a lot of things that I think are worth talking about. And I guess one thing that I'm going to do down the line is I want to get a better capture device. I want to get an Elgato HD60 or an HD60 Pro, which will get me to capture a lot more stuff from stuff like the PS4, the Switch, although the Switch does 720, so that's I guess a lot of my systems that I want to capture 1080p and 60 FPS, but I can't yet. Right now, the only systems that I can do that with are my computer. But there are some games on PS4, Wii U, even stuff as far back as like the 360 that I would like to go back and get them, but I want to capture them at their right footage, resolution, and frame rate. So that's something I'm going to do. I'm also considering updating my graphics card for my computer, which might make capturing some footage a lot easier. And I'm trying to get involved with, more people in the community to try and maybe do collaborations, maybe, but really that's up to them. That's not something I really decide. As far as some games that I might want to consider, there are a few set aside for a while. And there are also some topics that I think can't be limited to a single game. And I would want to look at that. Something more broad, something that focuses on a concept that many games share, and I would be critiquing multiple games. I guess the use of it. So it's kind of like my evolving rhythm gameplay video. Something like that. That's really all I can say as far. I kind of like to keep these secret, but don't worry. I will at some point be looking at like a shooter, because I know that George loves his first person shooters. He loves his Doom. He loves his whatever, his Duke Nukem Forever for some reason. But so that kind of brings everything together about what exactly is going on, what happened. So many people to thank, and just everybody who's watched me. There are so many people, not just the small ones who started with me from the start, not just the big ones that are looking at me now. every single person who's come to my videos, watched them, left a comment, subscribed, liked, shared them around on places like Reddit and Twitter. I can't thank every single one of you enough. This was a moment that I never thought would come, that I'd be making a video like this, or audio or whatever. But I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. This is giving me the creative drive that I've been starving for a long time, now that I know there are people who are going to watch my stuff. Really, the last thing I can say is there are a lot of YouTubers who are currently in the same situation as I was maybe 6 months ago, where they're just trying to find an audience, trying to get people to watch their stuff. There's a ton of them. Go to r/video game analysis on Reddit and you'll find so many small channels that are producing incredible, incredible work. There are so many to recommend, but that's why I share them on Twitter. When I see someone who has barely anything, who has 2 digits worth of subscribers, not even 100, and they're producing content with such smart arguments, with such interesting editing, and seeing them just get overlooked, it's a shame. And it's something that I don't stand for. I don't let those people be silent. I don't let those people go unnoticed, because they, very much like I was, are still looking for people to give them a chance. So support those small YouTubers. And not even just the critique ones. If you see a YouTuber who is trying to make great content and get people to watch it, help them out. Share it on Reddit. I know r/games can be a little bit rough at times, but when you share something on a subreddit with a lot of people, there's a chance it'll catch on. I've seen it happen. I've seen people gain a ton of attention just because someone shared it on r/games. It's worth a shot. So I guess after this 30 minutes of ranting, thanks again. This was really what I needed to get me to want to make videos. And it's just that shot in the arm you need. And thanks again. Take care.